To make the presentation now to our third inductee, please make welcome the first ever Aussie to pull on the iconic yellow jersey of the Tour de France, Phil Anderson. Our next inductee's contribution extends beyond the roads of Paris and Europe to every BMX track right around the country.
In a sport that demands exceptional resilience and courage, Robbie Mcewen was a fearless competitor. At his peak, he was regarded as the fastest road sprinter in the world. Typical of his incredible toughness was the first stage of the 2007 Tour de France, when Mcewen sustained knee and wrist injuries in a heavy crash, yet still won the stage in a breathtaking ride. Mcewen rode for 6 professional teams and won 12 stages of both the Giro d'Italia and the Tour de France. He claimed the Tour's green jersey for the points classification 3 times, the first Australian to do so. Mcewen was the winner of 115 major professional races. He represented Australia at 3 Olympics, won silver at the World Championships, was named Australian Cyclist of the Year, and was an inaugural inductee into the Cycling Australia Hall of Fame. At the end of his last race, the 2012 Tour of California, race organisers presented him with a jersey for the most courageous rider, acknowledging not only his performance in that race, but his extraordinary career. Robbie Mcewen AM is inducted into the Sport Australia Hall of Fame as an athlete member for the sports of cycling.
Please welcome to the Sport Australia Hall of Fame, cycling great, Robbie Mcewen AM. Thanks, Phil. Robbie. Congratulations.
Sorry, Sandy, you've drawn the short straw, mate.
No, that's all right. We all make mistakes, mate. What a journey. I mean, you go back to those bush tracks, BMX tracks in Queensland. Did you ever dream that you'd be flying down the Champs-Elysees?
You know, when I started racing BMX, I hadn't even heard of cycling, let alone the Champs-Elysees.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Yeah, exactly. You know, cycling to me was always, it wasn't a game, but it was just something I loved. I loved being on a bike. Building the tracks was part of the pleasure of the sport. We used to take our shovels across the handlebars, right into the bush, build a track, and then time each other and just race each other. That's how it all started.
Well, it's amazing. Can I take you back to one, three Olympics, world champions, of course, silver in the Worlds. But in 1990, that was your 3rd tour, and you were still looking for your first stage. It all changed then, didn't it? Just tell us that story.
Yeah, that was the day cycling changed for me. In '99, it was my 3rd Tour de France. It was the last stage of that 3rd Tour de France. So I'd ridden 62 stages of the Tour de France with some close calls. Actually some close calls of missing the time cut as well, getting through the mountain stages. But on my 63rd attempt at winning a tour stage, I finally cracked one, and it was on the Champs-Elysees in Paris. And I finally learned how to say it by then.
You mentioned it was your 63rd attempt. Did you ever think, is this ever going to happen to me?
To be honest, yes, I did start thinking, is it ever going to happen? Because those days through the Alps and the Pyrenees and the mountain stages for a sprinter are bloody long. And you do start to wonder, am I going to finish this thing? Am I even going to make it to Paris? Am I ever going to win one? And when you finally do, it is a massive monkey off your back. It's not a monkey, it's a gorilla. It's a whole family of them. And that was the moment I thought, I've finally made it. I finally feel like a pro cyclist.
Yeah. You often were able to find a way to win. Where did that competitive spirit come from? Was it right from the early days, the BMX days?
Well, just as Steph had to stay up and thank her family. I've got to thank mine too. I've got to thank my mum and dad for doing everything for me, getting me into sport and facilitating like they did, takes around the country. But that competitive spirit, that I think I definitely got that from my mum.
Well done, Mum.
Do you want to meet her? She'll beat you in an arm wrestle.
Perhaps another time. Robbie Mcewen, AM, is inducted into the Sport Australia Hall of Fame, and well deserved. Congratulations,
Thanks,
Robbie.
Thank you.
All
Thanks
the
very
best.
much. Thanks.
Yeah, mate.